You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, the scramble is on for one Anheuser Busch. That's right, Budweiser, Bud Light. The Super Bowl is coming, and Bud Light has spent a massive amount of money trying to, well, rebrand their brand after they wrapped their loving arms around Dylan Mulvaney, a biological man that pretends to be a girl. Not even a grown woman, a girl. And as you guys know, man, beer customers absolutely taught them a lesson. They have lost so much money, they are not close to recovering, and the boycott is still in full effect. In fact, this morning, Donald Trump, that's right, the great Donald J. Trump, President Trump, tweeted out about Bud Light making a mistake. And this is what I said. Trump will always get my support and vote, but I will never support an AB product again. See there, people can disagree, and nobody lost a limb. So, Anheuser-Busch is deep in the Super Bowl this year. Guys, they have spent $14 million on Super Bowl ads for this upcoming Super Bowl. They're bringing the Clydesdales back. They're doing all they can. Of course, they got in bed with UFC. And look, I love Dana White. I love the UFC, but I'm still not going to spend money on Anheuser-Busch. The King of Beers is sparing no expense and aiming to reign supreme over the Super Bowl, and Anheuser-Busch trio of big brands are calling on saviors and old and new to take on particularly big lift this year. 3 years after sitting out the Super Bowl for the first time in 37 years, Budweiser once again trots out its iconic Clydesdales, this time getting an assist from a Labrador. Michelob Ultra targets both its middle-aged demographic and the growing soccer sector by taking Lionel Messi, Ted Lasso, and Dan Marino's talents to something resembling South Beach. And if Taylor Swift is America's sweetheart, then Peyton Manning is its non-threatening dollop of mayonnaise. Who better than Manning than to lead the charge for Bud Light in a feverish 60-second spot, flanked by Post Malone, UFC's Dana White, and a genie. The theme seems to be clear. Anheuser-Busch, whose products have claimed 14 championships in USA Today's ad meter featuring public opinion of Super Bowl spots, is getting back to basics. Oh, boy. Quote, "It's an important moment," says Kyle Norrington, Anheuser-Busch chief commercial officer. Yeah, because y'all are still panicking. It continues to get tougher as a marketer, but this is an amazing moment. People are seeing 10,000 pieces of communication every day, but the Super Bowl is just different. The world is watching. This is an opportunity for us to lean in and get back to what we've been doing since 1975, which is great beer marketing. Well, you can already see right there the questions are being asked. Can the Super Bowl save Bud Light? My belief is no. After nearly a year of suffering sales since Bud Light's faithful partnership with transgender activist Dylan Mulvaney, the beleaguered brand is still looking to make a comeback. Parent company Anheuser-Busch InBev is spending big on Super Bowl ads and forming new partnerships in an effort to rekindle America's affinity for the beer that reigned as the top seller in the U.S. for more than 2 decades before its fall. While Bud Light may not be restored to its former glory anytime soon, one expert believes it does have an opportunity for redemption, and strides the company is making are going in the right direction. Well, of course they think that. Of course they hope that. They hope that. Terry Schilling is the president of America Principles Project, a group that likens itself as the special interest arm of the American family. He says the reason Bud Light received so much backlash is that frustration had already been building among the American public over radical cultural change being pushed by the media and elite levels of our institutions. So when Bud Light, a brand everyday Americans loved, decided to, quote, push those changes too, it presented the first opportunity for consumers to respond and strike back. Quote, Bud Light does this thing with Dylan Mulvaney that is so against their customer base that people made that company successful and profitable. It is a finger in their eye. It's a double middle finger is what it was. Schilling told Fox Business in an interview, Bud Light became the cultural whipping boy for stepping in, and they deserved it. Schilling pointed out to the messaging that came from Bud Light's former marketing vice president at the time, who revealed her agenda to transform what she viewed as a fraternity boy image of the brand to appeal to other audiences. Quote, it failed in an incredible way, Schilling said, so now the question is, can they repair their image? I do think they can repair it, frankly, and I hope they do, because Bud Light and Budweiser are important American institutions. It's important that we have brands that we're proud of, and I really hope they turn this around. Well, I'm going to be real, and yeah, it goes on to talk about the partnership with Shane Gillis, too, that I think we sort of found out about maybe last week or week before last, but I don't know anybody that's going to go back to drinking it. I don't. I mean, switching beers is like one of the easiest pivots that a person can make. And the thing about it is, and we talked about this in the beginning, people are very loyal to their beers. And once that switch is made, a new loyalty forms, right? And it's easy. People have figured out they like drinking this beer or this other beer, and now they've wrapped their arms around that. And at this point, and this is Anheuser-Busch's problem, number one, you still haven't apologized. You haven't. You haven't publicly apologized to anybody. Number two, I mean, not only did people pivot and decide to drink a new beer, but now you're in the rearview mirror. I mean, it's done and over with. That money, that section of income will never return because that's a decision that people have long since made. They're comfortable with it, and they're not going back. They're like, okay, I got a new beer, and they will become very loyal to that beer as long as they don't do an ad campaign with Dylan Mulvaney or somebody of that same ilk. I mean, Anheuser-Busch screwed itself here. I feel bad for their employees on the front lines and in their manufacturing plants. But at the same time, look, people were fed up. It started with Disney, and Anheuser-Busch took a lot of brunt of it when they jumped into it. And at some point, I think if you work for any corporation now, you have to have your head on a swivel to find another job because you don't know what your corporation you work for is going to get involved with that could lead to exactly what happened here. People getting fed up and saying, I'm out, I'm done. And they're done. And we're done. And everybody's done. And I'm done. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.